Hello, 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 everyone. That's a lot of hellos for Taco Tuesday. Not Trump Taco Tuesday, but just Taco Tuesday. Or Turnaround Tuesday, or Cloudflare's Down Tuesday. Happy Cloudflare's Down. Can't get to a lot of sites. Good morning, Sterling. At least can't stream on X this morning. That's been down. Don't know if it's working on Rumble because it's trying to verify that I'm human and it won't let me in to see if it's working. I have it set up. So if somebody's actually in on Rumble, could you let me know on YouTube? That's why we streamed to multiple places. I went to Down Detector a while ago and it was down because they depend on Cloudflare. I think they're back up now, but a lot of things are having problems. Just like the market's having problems, although we're getting to that capitulation stage. Capitulation stage. Again, I'm going to say good morning to Sterling twice. Thank you. Home Depot down. Their guidance was horrible. Again, what I mentioned yesterday, home renovation and their home renovation. So we're watching to see if that reconnects with the 87.5 rule. Yeah, there we go. Net Cloudflare system outages are wreaking havoc on the internet. Sterling, with a premonition, sold his remaining position after earnings last month. I hope some of you have remained hedged. I hope somebody listened to me out there or lightened up your portfolio. That's another way to hedge, going to cash or going to short-term treasuries. I had stuff wasn't sitting well with me. Now, I'm going to reassess before I say good. I'm going to reassess because traditionally Thanksgiving week has a bullish bias. We have option expiration this Friday. I put out in the the newsletter I do. Jeez, that is volatile week so far. We've been volatile. We could be volatile back on a snapback too, and I'll go through the key levels I'm watching. The intelligent investor, the unfiltered investor. That's what it is. Good morning, Patrick. I've been up for a very long time. Good morning, Jacob. Very long time. Good morning, John. Many hours. Baidu beat stock down. Futu, Baidu and Futu beat stock flat. Klarna beat stock flat. OD Green, hey, how are you doing, OD? Good morning to you. Yogesh, good morning to you. Ted, good morning to you. Some of these. Net is down 4.52. Yeah, I bet it's down. It's taken down half the internet. Yeah, X is not loading for anybody right now, Sterling. David, good morning. Anissa, good morning. Rumble's okay now. All right, we are on Rumble and it's streaming okay. I just can't get in to say good morning to anybody on Rumble. I know Dean, aka Rusty, is watches on Rumble. So I'm saying good morning to people on Rumble. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Rick. Because it can't verify I'm human. I'm on there every friggin' day with this. Hello, Charles. This verify you're human has gotten insane. It drives me crazy on days that it is working. Thank you, Patrick. Rumble is working. Good morning to you too. Sterling's all cash in his trading account. 401k. Well, you can always rotate to short. A lot of 401ks an option to rotate to short treasuries. Charles closes soybeans. Cloudflare is down. Yes. Dark screen. All right. Well, we've gotten there. Well, some websites are down too. Like we'll get to that. These are the prior initial jobless claims because they were releasing ADP numbers, which came in negative today. Uh, we had the continuing jobless claims from the 11th and 18th. Initial jobless claims from the 18th, rising a bit. But what's that? That's a month ago. So again, oh well, because we don't know how it's going to play out. And what's this JavaScript's 4-week average? 58K because what? We didn't report? Redbook's still hanging in there. Redbook. What else do we have? We got bar. Oh, yes, we could. A day without Fed speak is a day that's not complete. We have bar speaking. Uh, Other than that, light day from news. NY Fed Services Activity Index still in contraction. FinViz. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Cloudflare Air. Let's see. Nope, still down. So we can't look at the heat map or the sector heat map. FedWatch, luckily, is still up at 50. Look at this. It's actually tipped pretty close to a pause. Nearly 50-50 for the pause in December. That's a big change. Fear and greed, extreme fear. Stock price still in the breath is still in the toilet. Now, when it gets down like this is when another sign capitulation bottom, and that does not mean we have to go to new highs. I'm definitely not looking at this for potential new highs yet. This secondary reaction is going to be critical. It's why it's lucky you're smart to tune in because I'm going to go through exactly what I'm looking for. Trump wants to drain the swamp and term limits on reps 6 years and senators 12 years. Yeah, I'm all for term rep. Thank you. I am all for that. I am all for that. Schiller PE, 39.34. So even look at this sell-off. I mean, it's not that bad yet. All right. Thanks to Sterling, we still got the earnings in there. Again, let's hope Sterling's hand is healing quickly. After the close, there's not much. Hey, we got Powell. We got Powell. Jerome Powell's after the close. But tomorrow we got Target, TJ Maxx, and Lowe's. None of these are really market moving. Now, market moving, we got Nvidia. Nvidia definitely market moving. And Palo Alto. Not as much market moving, but interesting. So, nothing much today to worry about, but tomorrow is another decent day. Here's our heat map. I had to do it in TradingView. You can see Nvidia down, Apple down, AMD down. What else? I don't like the way they divide it as much. But we'll go with what we have. We got Google still up, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle all down, Tesla up. So Amazon down, Costco down, Home Depot. Don't know if this is correct right now. Down one. That doesn't seem like enough. Is this still from last night? It might not be updated. Do I have to update this? I don't normally use this heat map. Oh boy. I want it to be pre-market. Trade that's daily. I don't know. I'll have to see about that. But let's just get to everything else. So, good morning, Heinrich. All right. We have confirmed the double top. Not triggered. However, oversold condition. Even if this does trigger today, would I be selling on the close? No. Not on options expiration week, not with it being this oversold and not with cycles on the bottom and even on the weekly. We're getting down at least below the midpoint, and yeah, we're getting down to the bottom, closer to the bottom of the rotation zone. I'd be looking for a bounce play personally. Here's what's key. All right. We might have a percent beat buy set up for tomorrow. I'm still looking, by the way, the little mini doubles played out nicely yesterday. I am still looking for 4-hour capitulations. Although, if we start breaking back above about 66.80, it could be a scalpy area into the prior support. We've had some liquidation by the dip buyers. The dip buyers that was finally taken out last evening. So my first target is about 66.95 to 6,700 to at least unwind something. All right, 6680 is critical unless we get a short term. This little spike down invalidated the double technically on the 1 hour. I'm still looking at the 6680 area. The double trigger, if you were still going off that's closer to 6685. I'm still watching around 6680 for any bullish potential scalp that's scalpy. If it does blow through, if we do get momentum and we continue higher, the next minor area I'm looking is about 6720, 20 to 25. And then key, very key, if we continue a bounce, my two areas, because we're talking about the secondary reaction now. All right. The two key areas for me. We have a prior harmonic, the prior 50% harmonic, the bouncing 37.5% harmonic if this low holds, and the key breakdown level, and the declining 8 EMA from the daily rotation zone, right around 6750. Also a key area for option expiration. Above that, the I'm minor, very, very minor is about 6785, major 6800, again, option expiration, and that's another key breakdown area. So if we do get the sustained bounce, that would take us back to the 50% harmonic area if these lows were to hold. The only thing besides a bounce play that I would continue to hold is if we got above 68.3325. Okay? I am looking for the bounce plays now. Now, if this double were to trigger today, then I'd be more aggressively looking for rollover patterns on these bounces. If it does not trigger today, then I'll still watch for topping patterns at these key areas, but get through option expiration. And historically, as I mentioned before, Thanksgiving week is notoriously has a bullish bias. That's why if I'm looking to re-hedge, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let hedges, any remaining hedges expire that are option based, and I will wait until after Thanksgiving week to reassess. That heat map looks like four retiree short colors. There we go. It does have that flamingo pink. It's got some flamingo pink in there. That's a good. Rick, you win the limes and pinks. You win the comment of the day. NVIDIA Friday expiration options pricing in a nearly a 13% move. Yeah. Does this make sense? What I'm watching for with now this secondary reaction is critical. This is a critical one. Also, we've dipped a little farther into the weekly rotation zone. So far, 3 confirmed weeks down. This will be an interesting week. Recovery of the 6685 level in ES has been a real magnet that turns into a slingshot since Friday. So, by the way, hooking over 50. Yesterday, we also closed below the 50 EMA. We closed below the 50 EMA since we broke above it after the capitulation bottom. So, the nature of the market has definitely changed, and we definitely have the first cross the rotation zone. I just want to make sure it makes sense exactly what I'm looking for. NASDAQ. NASDAQ, the key level I'm looking for is this 24,840 area, 835 to 840. All right, for any well, you know what I didn't do on the S&P? If this does head down today, there is a lot of buying pressure in this area. So I'm using, what's the highest high? There it is. This harmonic in the short term, if we do take out the overnight low, 66.18 area, and then I'm looking between 65.81 and 65.94. This is a very key buying area from before. On the NASDAQ, why don't I just put that up too, since we're looking. If we do take out the lows, I'm looking for the cluster area 24,404 to 24,438, 24,438 being checking off the 87.5 rule, because we did yesterday close below, which, even though we don't have a confirmed double, we did close below that. We've already taken out the 75, but the 87 magnet, by the lows of the October 13th and the two spike bottoms here. So on any bounce, I still have to respect the probability shift, the fact that we have the overhead rotation zone, the fact that we closed below the 50, that has been major support since the capitulation bottom. So this market has to do some heavy lifting. The key, and look at where the 62.5 is right here, by this prior major significant resistance topping area, 25,725. Now on bounce plays, I'm looking closer to 25,100 to 25,150. Then I'm looking 25,300 to 330. The 50% harmonic is all the way back at 25,500. So what else? Those are exactly what I'm watching in the short term. This morning, I'm keeping an eye that's 20, just above 24.8, 24.840. The Dow confirmed yesterday. The double top is a confirmed double top. The Dow getting shellacked. I wish this. Does anybody else have trading view? Is there a setting to make sure that where's Dow Jones? Like, what is tanking the Dow this morning? I want to know pre-market. Is there a pre-market setting on here that I'm missing? Can somebody help me? I don't have time to look at it. Flamingo pink. I wish without going through the stocks individually. So this is another one. Cycles at the bottom getting oversold. I'll be looking for a bounce and then a potential short, as long as we get the bounce and we get another shorting pattern. The key thing I'm looking for, if we do get the bounce, is about 47,000 to 47,100. The next, if this continues to drop, let me just if this continues to drop, the next major target area is 45,750 to 45,850. This is all based off Home Depot, Rick. Thank you. So you guys are the best, and gals. No, not being sexist in there. Russell, we had the little mini doubles that played out yesterday, coming back to a key harmonic. The Russell also has some major heavy lifting to do on a bounce, with the separating rotation zone and the 50. Look, you'd have to get all the way above, if these lows hold back above 24.75 roughly. The next, if the Russell continues to sell off to 62.5 of this whole run up from the lows of August to the highs in October, the 62.5 is 2304, and you have a harmonic right at 2300. Other than that, key area I'm looking at on the Russell is about 2345 going into this morning. The VIX continues to rise. Yesterday, we again took off could not really drop below that 20 level and then just accelerated higher. So in the short term, I'm paying closer to 2250 if we do start a rally. The DAX, the DAX reconnected with the 200 yesterday. Finally, that's been one of my targets. The problem is it was a rising target. And then we're breaking below here. The DAX is really trading at critical support. If our markets bounce, we'll be watching for a bounce in the DAX and another potential rollover play. We might be getting the first cross rotation zone on the weekly. This has been major support since it broke above it in April and retested this area. So this is very, very key for the DAX. We could be setting up a more significant breakdown. 10-year little pullback in yields today still in this consolidation range. Taking this little pullback, so again, people are shifting into treasuries. Also deleveraging because of what's going on in the repo market, which can cause some selling in stocks in the short term and deleveraging and rotation into other short-term yield instruments. Sterling asked that question yesterday. Look at the MOVE index, by the way. The MOVE index, which is the U.S. bond market option volatility estimate index. I'm going to keep an eye on this. We've been climbing. I just don't highlight this every day, but we started climbing, and now we're about to possibly break the pattern of lower highs and lower lows. I am going to be looking. If you have the MOVE index on your service, I will be watching, though, if we start rallying for a quick reversal in this, because that could lead to a more sustained bounce pattern. TradingView heat map, color by pre-market change on third drop-down menu from left. Colored by pre-market. Thank you. Thank you. Big shout out to Patrick. Thank you for your help, Patrick. Now, so the Dow is really Home Depot, Microsoft, and look at the Dow. Now I can go back to also. Thank you to Patrick again. The S&P 500. Oh yeah, still got Google up. There we go. That's looking better. Wow. All right, back to so keep an eye on the MOVE index. It has not reversed yet. I am going to keep an eye on that for a slightly more sustained bounce. I'll reiterate again, option expiration on Friday. We could still see more volatility. Nothing going on in crude. There's nothing. I'm just going to skip it because I am not looking for crap. This needs to resolve. This is just, unless you're micro trading this, it's garbage. Gold. Again, this was a crappy lopsided double pattern. We did trigger a 4-hour %B buy that was officially triggered on the last 4-hour close. We might, if this does not get a major rally on, we might be setting up for a daily buy. So I'm watching these lows with this low print for sustained stuff, and this is a very key area for support. If we turn around and validate that 4-hour buy, my last line in the sand in the short term is a 50 EMA. Silver, also a little 4-hour confirmed percent B buy. The key area for silver is below that 4-hour bar. Dollar index. Interesting. Came up on the first target of the double. And now it's technically set up a little mini double top. So I'm keeping an eye on that closely, because I still have my bullish bias in this with the cycles going up. But we could see another pullback to a very key support area, and based on which is a right low, 602, there it is. And that target on that double, if it were to trigger, is right at the 62.5. Charles hasn't traded crude in weeks. The trading has been really crappy. Is Twitter online again? Thank you. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we have? Another thing. Bitcoin. I'm looking now. Bitcoin on the daily. Yesterday closed below 62.5, but I'm looking for a bounce play before the sentiment in cryptos right now is really, really bad. We did not close on the weekly basis below that, so I'll be watching this week how we close, but the daily basis we did. So this, again, has a major heavy lifting to do. Major heavy lifting to do right here on the old Bitcoin. But tomorrow we could be setting up for a percent B buy if we don't get a major, or tomorrow we could be setting up for a percent B buy, and that was a weekly percent B buy I was looking at. And if we do get a major rally today and close below above yesterday's high, it would be a percent B buy for a bounce play only. We don't have another great bottoming besides a little mini 4-hour percent B buy triggering yet. The spiders, which are now open, might confirm the double top. Would need a close below 160C121 to trigger. The Qs, which don't have that pattern, though the Qs did not close below or it did close below 62.5. Sorry about that. So the magnet price is still 595.04. That big double going to get triggered? The big double, you mean the dollar? I assume you mean the dollar. There is still the massive, where's my dollar index? Why can't I find it? There it is. There's still a massive double bottom. That's confirmed but not triggered yet. If you're a subscriber, the unfiltered investor, I've talked about that. What else? What else? So something on. Can we check lean cattle? Jeez. I haven't. Not lying. You want live cattle? I think you want live cattle. Is there a buy set up on a weekly? If you're looking at this, last week was a percent B buy. So the key stop area is right below 215, 325. That's again for a bounce play only because it's against the rotation zone. I just wonder if there's technically still, yes, that does work. There's technically a major double bottom pattern. That's the only major weekly setup that hasn't been triggered yet. This has to follow through. But if we take out not last week's, the weeks before, well, the low from This was a daily buy. Sorry, I thought I was in the weekly chart. I went to the wrong tab. That was a daily buy against the 50. So let me correct myself. This is a daily double bottom. The key area is from Friday's low. If that gets taken out, that will be a failed %B buy. And then I'd continue to watch for a sell-off. If not, this would be a bounce play into the daily rotation zone and at most up to the weekly rotation zone unless you blow through this potential double top or double bottom. Am I no longer during Euro? I just skipped it. We can do that. Euro, US dollar. I'm still watching for rollover sells. I don't think this is still valid for the. Yeah, oh, yeah, it is. You do. There it is still valid. I was wrong. There is a massive double top pattern potential. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we still have about 4 weeks. So by, sometime closer to the end of December, if that doesn't trigger, it will be off. But if that does trigger, we could see a pretty substantial move down in the euro. I'm still looking for short-term stuff for rollover plays. There you go, dark screen. Sorry, I skipped that. Let's see what's going on. Ooh, that was a quick rejection. So 66.80. It's not hit. Well, it was attempted to be hit, but geez, what was the high here? 66.79. So little volatility coming in there. 66.80 is still key for me, and it's got to be turned into support. Other than that, oh, you mentioned MO, which has been a hit really hard right now. Did not update this yet. Right now, I mean this is long term for me. The dividend yields 7.29%, P to E's 11. Okay? And they missed on revenue slightly. However, last time, but geez, this is when I look at this, I look at the long term. I focus on the monthly. Now, if we start taking out this low area, this is when I look to lighten up and then re-add. Or sell covered calls against it. If we don't take out this area, I'm still looking for the longer term bounce. But this is a very key line in the sand at 56 for me. There you go, Sterling. NASDAQ. Yeah, this is the key area right in here. So that's about it for today. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you all for tuning in. And don't do anything silly this week. We can still possibly get a rip your face off rally, but where that rally takes us is going to be very key to whether we've put in a more significant capitulation bottom once it happens, or whether it's just a bounce play on the secondary reaction, and then we keep watching for rollover plays. And the end of the year, buy it, no brainer. We're going to rally, definitely could fail. You're welcome, Anissa. See you all tomorrow for Wednesday. Fed meeting minutes on Wednesday. Tomorrow also. And NVIDIA earnings after the close. Talk to everyone then. Bye for now.